Good morning, children. We are once again back in the same chapter, chapter 3, that is metals and non-metals. If you remember, in the last part of the same chapter, we have discussed the physical properties of metals. We have discussed the physical properties of metals. In today's class, we are going to discuss the chemical properties of metals. We are going to discuss the chemical properties of metals. In the last class, we had discussed about the physical properties of metals. There I have discussed the properties like malleability, ductility, sonority, color, density, tensile strength, all these things. In this part of the chapter, we are going to discuss that is the chemical properties of metals. The first chemical property that we are going to discuss is actually the reaction with oxygen. That is the reaction of oxygen. That is the property we should be discussing in this part. Now we know in general that when a metal reacts with oxygen, it forms metallic oxides, and metallic oxides are generally basic in nature. So what we know that most of the metals form respective metallic oxides when they are reacted with oxygen. Most of the metals, they form the respective metallic oxides when they are made to react with oxygen. This is a very important property, and I think all of you know it, that metals reacts with oxygen. Metals reacts with oxygen to produce corresponding metallic oxides. So when a metal is made to react with oxygen, it forms metallic oxides. For example, potassium. When potassium reacts with oxygen, we know potassium is an alkali metal, and moreover potassium is highly reactive. When potassium reacts with oxygen, it forms potassium oxide, and when it reacts with oxygen, it forms potassium oxide. Same way, when sodium reacts with oxygen, it forms actually sodium oxide. So all these points actually clearly indicate us what? It clearly indicates that metals are highly reactive. They will react with the corresponding metal to form their corresponding oxide. So sodium is also a very reactive metal that reacts with oxygen to form sodium oxide. Okay, it reacts with oxygen to form actually sodium oxide, and that's why see sodium, potassium are so reactive metals that they are generally stored under kerosene. Now we have other metals like lithium, metals like potassium, sodium, etc. known as alkali metals, and we know alkali metals are those series of metals which are highly reactive. These are those series of metals which are highly reactive. Okay, these are those series of metals which are actually highly reactive. These are actually the characteristic property of a metal. That is, whenever a metal is made to react with oxygen, it forms the corresponding metal oxide. Now other metals like copper, these metals, they react with oxygen, but they does not react with oxygen at room temperature, but when they are burnt in air, or they are heated with some amount of heat, or they are heated to a high temperature, at that time what happens, these metals, they form corresponding oxide. But metals like silver and gold and platinum, they do not react so easily. Silver although reacts to form silver oxide, but gold and platinum are considered as noble metals. These metals do not react with oxygen so easily. So they combine with oxygen of air even at a high temperature. They are therefore, I should say, they are very least reactive metals. They are the least reactive metals. So these are some of the reactions of metals with oxygen. Okay. After that, we have the next reaction, that is reaction of metal with water. See, metals like sodium and potassium reacts with water vigorously. And what is the general product of the reaction? Metals form the respective hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is being liberated out. So here we have a general equation. Can you see the general equation? That is, whenever a metal actually reacts, it actually forms the corresponding metal hydroxide and hydrogen. See this reaction, a metal reacting with water will form metal hydroxide and hydrogen. Okay, it reacts with water to form metal hydroxide and hydrogen. So here is the reaction, that is when a metal is made to react with water, it forms corresponding metal hydroxide. See, metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas is being liberated out. So most of the metals, they do not react with water, however alkali metals react vigorously. So just remember, sodium, potassium are so active metals that as soon as they come in contact with water, they form the corresponding hydroxide and hydrogen gases liberated out. Now try to understand, when this hydrogen gas is liberated out, this is a highly exothermic reaction, and this exothermic reaction is so much reactive that in this case we see that it catches fire easily. These are actually the sum of the reaction. Now see the reaction of sodium metal with water. Now when sodium metal forms sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas is liberated along with a lot amount of energy. So I can say this is a reaction which is a highly exothermic reaction. What is the meaning of exothermic reaction? Meaning of exothermic reaction is that it gives us large amount of heat. Same thing with calcium with water. Calcium forms calcium hydroxide along with hydrogen gas, but the vigorous nature of calcium is less vigorous than that of sodium or potassium. The magnesium metal reacts with water slowly and forms magnesium hydroxide hydrogen gas, but when steam is passed over magnesium metal, magnesium oxide hydrogen gas is formed. Magnesium oxide hydrogen gas has been formed. So these are some of the reactions of this magnesium metal with water. These are some of the reactions of magnesium metal with that of water, that it actually forms the corresponding metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas is being liberated out. Okay, these are some of the reactions. After that, we have reaction of aluminium metal with water. When aluminium metal is made to react with water, it actually forms what? See, aluminium oxide and hydrogen. See the reaction equation is given over here. As you could see that when aluminium is made to react with water, it forms aluminium oxide, hydrogen gas is being liberated out. But mind it will not take place in cold water. We have to actually heat the water. Actually in cold water reaction is too slow, but when water is heated or steam is passed, we actually get this type of a reaction. Okay, after that, the reaction of zinc metal with water. Zinc metal produces zinc oxide and hydrogen when steam is passed. So just remember, zinc will not react with cold water. Zinc will only react with that of that we can say zinc reacts with steam, because now we have to heat the water into the vapor state, turn it into a steam, and then only the reaction takes place. So zinc does not react with cold water. Reaction of iron with cold water is very slow and comes down into notice after a long time. So just remember with iron, the reaction takes place in a superheated steam. When you superheat the steam, we find the reaction to occur. It forms ferrosoferric oxide or ferric oxide. Now iron forms rust, that is iron oxide, when react with moisture. This is a very important thing you people have noticed, that when iron object is kept exposed for a long time, it starts forming rust. What is rust? Rust is actually hydrated ferric oxide. What is hydrated ferric oxide? Ferric oxide containing a fixed number of molecules of water. That's why it is called as hydrated ferric oxide. Now a question always comes that whenever a piece of calcium or magnesium is put in water, or whenever a piece of sodium is put in water, we see that the sodium floats over water. Why does the sodium floats over water? The sodium floats over water because the hydrogen gas liberated out, it pushes the sodium, it pushes the calcium. As a result, the sodium and calcium, it actually floats in water. So the floating is because hydrogen gas liberated out. These gas which is liberated in the form of bubbles, effervescence, they actually push this magnesium and calcium up, and that's why they actually float in water. It is in the form of bubbles which stick onto the surface. Therefore, they float over it. Other metals usually do not react with water, or they react very slowly. So just remember, metals like gold and platinum, they do not react with water. They can be kept in water for as long as possible. Okay. So these are some of the important characteristics. These are some of the important characteristics that we encounter about that of these metals like. Now if we follow our activity series of the reaction of metals, you see potassium is on the top, then we have sodium, after that calcium, after that magnesium, then aluminium, then zinc, then iron, then lead, copper, silver, last is gold. So in this series, what we could understand, that among these metals, potassium is the highly reactive metal. Among these metals, we can easily understand that potassium is the highly reactive metal. After potassium, we have the next metal, and that next metal is sodium. After sodium, we have the next metal, that is calcium. After calcium, see, we have the next metal, magnesium. After magnesium, we have the next metal, that is the aluminium, symbol should be Al. Then we have the next metal, that is zinc. After zinc, the next metal, iron. After iron, the next metal like lead. Then after lead, the next metal, copper. Then from copper, we have silver, and then we have gold. This is how the reactivity of these different metals are there, one after the other. Among them, the highest reactive is potassium, and the least reactive is gold. So up till now, children, we have discussed about some of the important reactions of metals, that is the reactions of metals with that of water. In that, we have seen that highly reactive metals, they react vigorously, and the less reactive metals, they don't react with cold water, but they need warm water. And metals which are least reactive, they react with steam. But there are some metals like gold and platinum which does not at all react. Next, we are going to discuss the reactions of metals with dilute acid. Reactions of metals with dilute acid. Now we know that whenever these metals are made to react with dilute acid, they actually give us hydrogen gas, and corresponding metal salt is formed. They actually give us hydrogen gas, and corresponding metal salt is formed. See, just remember, a metal on reacting with the dilute acid will form the corresponding metal salt, and hydrogen gas will be liberated out. Okay, this is how the reaction proceeds. Now see the next reaction of sodium metal with dilute hydrochloric acid. See, sodium metal gives the sodium chloride and hydrogen gas when react with dilute hydrochloric acid. You should know this reaction is extremely vigorous, and hydrogen gas comes out when we take even very dilute amount of HCl. Okay, this is how the reaction proceeds. This is how the reaction actually proceeds. Yes, children, now the next is that the reaction of sodium metal with dilute hydrochloric acid. See, just try to remember that sodium metal gives sodium chloride and hydrogen gas. When sodium metal is made to react, it forms the corresponding salt. Now the reaction of magnesium metal with dilute hydrochloric acid. When magnesium metal is made to dilute hydrochloric acid, it forms magnesium chloride. It forms magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas formed when this magnesium reacts dilute hydrochloric acid. Now reaction of zinc with dilute sulfuric acid. Zinc reacts to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas, and when this zinc metal reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, this method is used for the laboratory preparation of hydrogen gas. So just remember, when zinc is made to react dilute hydrochloric acid, it forms zinc chloride and hydrogen gas is been liberated. So that is a characteristic feature, of this reaction. Okay, now hydrogen gas is not evolved when metal is treated with nitric acid. Why? Because the nitric acid shows oxidizing nature. The hydrogen gas that is liberated gets oxidized to water and itself get reduced to some of the oxide. So copper, gold, silver are known as noble metals. Why? Because they do not generally react. Copper, silver and gold, they are considered noble metals because these metals do not react with the normal reagents. Okay, they do not react with the normal acids. Now the order of reactivity of the metal is that the most reactive potassium, after that sodium, then calcium, then magnesium, then aluminium, then zinc, after that iron, copper, mercury, at the end we have silver. And gold or platinum are such metals that they do not react with a single acid. They always react with a mixture of a number of acids. And this mixture of acid is called as aqua regia. What is aqua regia? This is a mixture of hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. That is 3 parts of hydrochloric acid and 1 part nitric acid. When they react, they actually form aqua regia. This is one of the important properties of this type of metals. After that, we are going to discuss about the metal oxides. So chemical properties. Metal oxides are generally basic in nature. But before that, you should know what is a oxide. If I ask you what is a oxide, what should be the definition? If I ask you what do you mean by oxide, then what is the definition of an oxide? The definition of an oxide is that these are binary compounds of a metal. With that of oxygen only. So among this, metal oxide means it contains metal as well as oxygen. So see, metal oxides are basic in nature. Their aqueous solution are bases, and they change the color of blue litmus to red. So you should just remember that these are those oxides of metals which their aqueous solutions are basic in nature. Being basic in nature, they change the color of blue litmus to that of they change the color of red litmus to blue. Being the basic nature, most of the metal oxides are insoluble in water. Alkali metal oxides are soluble in water. Alkali metal oxides give strong base when dissolved in water. They give strong base when dissolved in water. Now, reaction of sodium oxide with water. Now, sodium oxide gives sodium hydroxide when reacts with water. Gives sodium hydroxide when they react with water. Reaction of potassium oxide with water. Now, potassium oxide gives potassium hydroxide when they react with water. So, potassium oxide gives potassium hydroxide when they react with water. Now, reaction of zinc oxide and aluminium oxide. Just try to understand zinc oxide and aluminium oxides are those oxides which are generally amphoteric in nature. What is the meaning of amphoteric? You should know these oxides are amphoteric, means they actually form those type of oxides which show both acidic as well as basic nature, and that property is called the amphoteric property of that of a metal. That property is called the amphoteric property of that metal. So just remember, generally metal oxides are basic, but there are some oxides which are amphoteric, which shows both acidic and basic behavior. Okay, children, that was all for the day. Thank you.